You know that feeling when you're just absolutely drowning in research? Well, today we're going to look at how you can build your very own team of specialized AI assistants to turn all of that chaos into some serious clarity. So we're going to walk through a workflow that literally takes mountains of messy, unstructured documents and transforms them into this powerful, interactive map of insights. And look, this is a genuine game changer if you've ever felt totally lost in your own research. You know, pretty much every big research project, doesn't matter if it's history or science or business, it always starts with the exact same problem. You are just completely swamped with source material. So take a look at this. This is a pretty typical starting point for, say, a historical project. You've got newspaper articles, transcripts, interviews with students, just a massive list of individual files. And the real question is, how on earth do you find the hidden connections that are buried somewhere inside all of that text? Right, because the real gold here isn't just reading all the facts in each document. The real value is in understanding the relationships between all of them, that whole network of people, places, and events that really tells the complete story. And frankly, that's the hardest part. Okay, so to tackle this, our first move is to bring in a specialist. And that specialist is an AI research assistant. Its sole job is to do that initial heavy lifting, reading and summarizing everything for us. And the process itself is actually pretty straightforward. First, you just upload all those source documents into one single workspace. And then you give the AI a really clear instruction. You tell it, act like a research synthesizer. Read all of this and create a detailed profile for every important person you find. And just like that, the AI scans all of these separate documents and starts generating these really clean summaries. It pulls out all the key details, like a person's school experience, their role in the community, and, this is crucial, it includes citations that link right back to the original source docs. Okay, so at this point, we've got the core intelligence extracted and organized. But these summaries are still just text, and they're all stuck inside one application. So to build that knowledge web we're after, we've got to get this data ready for the next specialist on our little assembly line.
So to make that handoff really clean and easy, all that synthesized information gets exported into simple, universal formats. We're talking plain text files for the profiles of all the people, and just a simple spreadsheet for the list of schools. Nice and easy.
All right, now it's time to bring in our second AI collaborator. Think of this one as our data architect. We're going to use a tool like ChatGPT to take all that raw text and actually build the structured foundation for our knowledge base. And the real magic here, it's all in the prompt. See, we're not just asking the AI to organize the files. No, we're giving it a super specific blueprint. We're telling it to add specific metadata using something called YAML, which is just a simple way to tag files. And most importantly, to create all the cross-reference links between the people and the schools. And get this, just 35 seconds later, the whole tedious task is just done. The AI has created hundreds of perfectly formatted, interlinked files, and it's all packaged up in a nice, neat zip file. I mean, think about it. That's hours, maybe even days of mind-numbing manual work just completed in a flash. Okay, so our files are synthesized, they're all structured. Now it's time for the big payoff. We're finally about to see that chaotic pile of research transform into a clear, explorable network. And honestly, the final technical step is just beautifully simple. All you do is copy the folders from that zip file and drop them into your destination. In this case, that's a personal knowledge management tool called Obsidian. That's it. But look, this is about so much more than just having tidy digital folders. Because of all those crosslinks our AI architect created for us, we've actually built something way more powerful. It's like a living, breathing map of our entire research project. And this is the knowledge web. Every single dot you see on this graph is a person or a school from our research. And the lines, those are the relationships connecting them that the AI identified. You can now visually explore this entire network. You can see clusters of connections, and you can start to discover patterns that would have been absolutely impossible to spot just by reading through documents. So let's step back for a second. What does a workflow like this really mean for the future of research, or for learning, or just for understanding really complex topics in general? Well, it introduces a whole new concept, which you can think of as a knowledge assembly line. Instead of relying on one single giant AI to do everything, we're using a series of specialized AIs that each do one thing exceptionally well. One synthesizes, another structures, and then a final tool helps us visualize it all.
So I think the big takeaway here is this. When we start using AI as a true collaborator, not just as a fancy search engine, we can completely shift our focus. We get to spend way less time on all that manual grunt work and way more time actually discovering the deeper connections hiding in our information. And this isn't just for historians, right? This is for anyone who's trying to make sense of a complex world.
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? I mean, whether you're analyzing scientific papers or mapping out a competitive business market, or even just trying to organize your own personal notes, this whole method gives you a powerful new way to see the connections you might have otherwise missed. So the real question is, what complex world would you want to map out first?